Hi guys, Melanie here. For those of you who don't know me, I am a certified health and wellness coach through the International Association of Wellness Professionals, and I'm here today to talk about inflammation. So in this video, I'm going to explain the different types of inflammation and also share with you 5 signs that your body might be inflamed. So inflammation has become kind of a buzzword and it's used quite often when it comes to different health concerns. But what does it actually mean? So inflammation is something that happens in our body that is normal. It's a healthy immune response that we need. This is why it kind of gets so confusing. So there's 2 different types of inflammation. The first one is acute inflammation. This is part of the body's natural defense system to protect against infection, irritation, toxins. So classic signs of acute inflammation are pain, swelling, redness, heat as with a fever or a bad sore throat or infected sliver in your finger, how it gets red and hot. With this type of inflammation, once the threat is gone, the sliver comes out, etc., the threat is gone, the inflammation goes away. Chronic inflammation is the other kind of inflammation, and this one is far more concerning. It involves the same process as acute inflammation. The difference is this one is when the threat is gone, the inflammation doesn't ever fully go away. It kind of runs in the background at a low level, and then each time that something happens and you get some inflammation, it never really goes away. It just kind of goes down enough so you can't notice it, but what happens is over time this kind of builds up. It layers on top of each other. And over time, it can disrupt the natural balance of your immune system. So when the immune system gets disrupted, it shifts into a chronic state of alarm or inflammation. So as it slowly builds, spreading throughout the body, it can happen all over the body, it can happen in specific areas, it can move around. There's really no specific way that it happens. So with chronic inflammation, the immune system is confused. It begins to attack foreign cells, and it attacks the body's own healthy cells as well. It can't tell the difference between friend or foe, basically. So by the time you start to really notice symptoms of inflammation, it's been building for quite some time. Could be months, could be even years that it's been building up. It kind of depends on your body's tolerance and how much it can handle before it starts to really give you symptoms that something is up. So how do we know if we're inflamed? What are the signs? So I'm going to share with you the top 5 things that could be signs that you have possible inflammation going on in your body. So the first thing that can happen is chronic pain, swelling, rashes, all in various areas of the body. So if you're a person who gets rashes often or, with no explanation, or, you wake up one morning and your finger joint, the knuckle is swollen and sore and stiff, you didn't have an injury or anything like that, and it lasts a couple days and goes away, those are random things that kind of start to happen. The second thing that can happen is chronic fatigue. So just feeling tired all the time. You can sleep 8 hours and still wake up feeling exhausted. Hit that snooze button too many times. You just can't wake up. You don't wake up feeling refreshed like you feel like you should after a good night's sleep. Brain fog is another thing that happens when you have inflammation. Being very forgetful. Brain fog is kind of hard to explain. It's, you're forgetful, you're easily distracted. It's really hard to concentrate, and thinking is kind of a challenge. So I like to explain it kind of like looking through a clear window versus looking through one that is slightly fogged up. It's hard to like sort out what you're looking at or what you're thinking. Sometimes it gets kind of jumbled together. A fourth thing that can happen, a fourth sign, is chronic headaches. So for a person who has weekly headaches, daily headaches, even monthly headaches, these are all signs that you have inflammation in the body, because headaches are not a normal, outside of migraines, which is kind of, it can be linked to inflammation, but that is also kind of a neurological thing that sits on its own. But I'm talking just chronic headache, like you wake up in the morning with a headache, it's gone by noon, or you wake up fine and you have a headache by noon, or like for me, it was just a headache every day of some sort, of some level. You know, they weren't always horrible headaches. Sometimes it was just kind of an irritation. Sometimes it was morning. Sometimes it was afternoon. Sometimes it was evening. It was random. It wasn't constant, but it was a lot of headaches with no apparent cause, really, that I could pinpoint, obviously. Also, the fifth thing that is a really big sign that you have inflammation going on in the body is if you've been diagnosed with any of the following conditions. So number one being autoimmune disease. Now, right now there's a ton of different types of autoimmune disease out there that people are struggling with and trying to heal. Diabetes is another condition that is associated with inflammation. Heart disease is another big one that's associated with inflammation, which that involves like inflammation in your blood vessels, arteries, heart, obvious. And depression is also something that has been strongly linked to inflammation in the body. So I'm just going to do a quick recap on acute inflammation versus chronic inflammation. So acute inflammation is our body's natural immune response. It flares up, and then once the threat is gone, it subsides and totally goes away. Chronic inflammation is that inflammation that can be triggered by a natural immune response, but with enough toxins built up in your body, your inflammation doesn't all the way subside. So it kind of works in the background, it slowly builds and can cause a lot of other issues in your body. If you liked this video, comment below on something that you learned. Share this video if you know someone that might benefit from the inflammation. And if you have any of the 5 signs that we talked about, or if you just want to know more, like and subscribe to this channel. In my next video, I'm going to talk about the #1 cause of chronic inflammation and what you can do about it. Thanks, you guys. Have a great day. Till next time.